Have you ever wondered why Hollywood is the movie capital of the world? Why not New York, Chicago, or even New Jersey? The answer, surprisingly, involves one of the greatest inventors in history, Thomas Edison, and his attempt to create a total monopoly over the film industry. This is the story of how one man's iron grip accidentally gave birth to the very place that would define cinema forever. Let's rewind to the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The world was buzzing with new inventions, and moving pictures were the next big thing. Thomas Edison, a name synonymous with innovation, was at the forefront. He wasn't just inventing things, he was patenting them. From the kinetoscope, an early motion picture viewing device, to the cameras used to film the actual movies, Edison and his company held the patents for nearly everything related to filmmaking. Now, Edison was a brilliant inventor, but he was also an incredibly shrewd businessman. He saw the massive potential of this new art form and wanted to control it completely. So in 1908, he formed the Motion Picture Patents Company, better known as the MPPC, or simply the Edison Trust. This trust was a consortium of the major film companies of the time, including Edison's own, along with the main distributor and the largest supplier of raw film stock, Eastman Kodak. Their goal was simple: total domination. If you wanted to make a movie, you had to pay the trust. If you wanted to show a movie in your theater, you had to pay the trust. They controlled the cameras, the film, and the projectors. Anyone who dared to make a film without their permission was deemed an outlaw. And the trust didn't just send strongly worded letters. They employed enforcers, thugs really, who would go to unlicensed film sets and smash cameras, destroy film, and intimidate filmmakers. The industry was centered on the East Coast, primarily in New Jersey and New York, making it easy for Edison's men to enforce his will. Imagine you're a young, ambitious filmmaker at this time. You're passionate about telling stories, but you're constantly looking over your shoulder. Every time you set up a camera, you risk having your expensive equipment destroyed and your production shut down. It was a suffocating environment for creativity. These independent filmmakers, these pirates, needed an escape. They needed to get as far away from Edison and his enforcers as possible. So they looked at a map of the United States and thought, where can we go? They needed a place that was geographically distant from the East Coast, a place with good weather for year-round outdoor shooting, a variety of natural landscapes, deserts, mountains, oceans, forests, and a place close to an international border for a quick getaway if the trust's agents came knocking. One location checked all the boxes: a small, sleepy village on the west coast called Hollywood. California was perfect. It was a cross-country train ride away, making it difficult and expensive for the trust's enforcers to pursue them. The weather was famously sunny, a huge advantage in an era that relied heavily on natural light for filming. Within a short drive, you could find landscapes that could double for the French countryside, the Sahara Desert, or the Swiss Alps. And, crucially, the Mexican border was just about 100 miles south. If word came that Edison's goons were on their way, filmmakers could pack up their gear and literally flee the country until the heat died down. The first film studio in Hollywood was established in 1911 by the Nestor Company, which was an independent company fleeing the trust. Soon, others followed. Carl Laemmle, who would later found Universal Pictures, was another key figure who defied the trust and set up shop out west. Men like Adolph Zukor of Paramount and the Warner brothers, Harry, Albert, Sam, and Jack, all found refuge and opportunity in this new California haven. They were the rebels, the outlaws, the pioneers who were building a new film empire from scratch, far from the clutches of the East Coast monopoly. What's ironic is that Edison's attempt to control the industry completely backfired. By squeezing the independent filmmakers so hard, he forced them to innovate, not just in their storytelling, but in their business strategy. They fled west and created a new ecosystem, one built on the very independence that Edison sought to crush. They built their own studios, developed their own distribution networks, and cultivated a star system that the trust had actively resisted. The trust believed that actors should remain anonymous to keep costs down, but the independents realized that audiences loved stars and would pay to see their favorite actors on screen. By 1915, the U.S. government stepped in. The Supreme Court ruled that the Edison Trust was an illegal monopoly, and it was officially dissolved. But by then it was too late. The power shift had already happened. The center of the American film industry had decisively moved from New Jersey to Hollywood, California. The very people Edison had tried to shut down were now the new kings of the movie world. So, the next time you see that iconic Hollywood sign or watch a blockbuster from a major studio, remember its accidental origin story. It wasn't built by a grand design, but born out of rebellion. It was a refuge for creative outlaws, fleeing the tight-fisted control of one of America's greatest inventors. Thomas Edison gave the world the light bulb and the phonograph, but through his desire for total control, he unintentionally gave us Hollywood, his most enduring and perhaps most ironic legacy. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this piece of history, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more stories about the hidden side of our world. We'd love to have you join our community. See you in the next video.